I'm Sam. Welcome to Table Talk, and we're here with Pastor Jim McClarty and Anthony Grant, my good friend. And we came, we saw the Creation Museum, a couple of us. We went to the Together for the Gospel Conference, a great Reformed conference. And Pastor McClarty was only a few hours away, so we thought, why not come and say hello? We had a good dinner. And now we're going to talk a little theology in the time we have on this Table Talk program. Okay, I'll throw it out there. People say that if God is good, then why is there evil in the world? And then a second part to that is, if there is evil in the world and there's a God, he must be the cause of that evil. Hence, God is evil, and in this case, he's not worth serving. I'm sure you've heard that. How do you respond to that?
Well, first off, that's a really big question, and you've told me that we have about 6 minutes of video.
As best we can.
The Odyssey.
God is not just good. People use anthropological language that is humanistic language. When we think of how humans are good or bad, those are very definable terms based on actions or activity. But God is not foremost bad or good or even love. He is foremost holy. God's primary attribute is his holiness. Therefore, anything God does, by the virtue of the fact that it's being done by a holy, righteous God, it is good by default, by the fact of who it is that's doing it. And so when people say things like, well, you Calvinists, and they whack their finger when they say that, when they say, oh, you Calvinists, you make God the author of evil. Well, the fact of the matter is, if he's absolutely sovereign, he's the author of everything that is in his universe. He created his universe the way he wanted his universe so that it would redound to his greatest glory. So evil exists in his universe because it serves his ultimate purpose. And we know, for instance, in the book of Revelation, that Satan is going to be cast finally into the lake of fire. Regardless of your eschatological view, we can all agree that Satan is cast into the lake of fire at some point. Well, that means God can do that at any point he wants to. If he hasn't done it yet, and yet says, I'm going to, he hasn't yet because it's still serving his purpose. It still serves his ultimate goal, which is the glorification of his Son. And we don't have a lot of time to go into this, but I'll just ask you a few quick questions. Like, okay, so God made Adam and Eve, and he put the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in the middle of the garden and said, don't eat from that. If he really didn't want them to eat from that, what's the thing God should have done?
Not put the tree there?
Not put the tree there, exactly. But he did anyway, right? So now you've got the man, the woman, and the tree. You've got the temptation. And what does God let into the garden? The tempter. And Satan comes and speaks to the woman, and you know that whole conversation.